Question 16. California requires a resident manager or responsible person on the premises of any apartment complex with A. 5 units or more, B. 16 units or more, C. 25 units or less, and/or a pool D. 100 plus units. Correct answer is B. 16 units or more. California law requires a resident manager or responsible person to live on site in any apartment complex with 16 or more units, if the owner or landlord doesn't reside there. This requirement is in place to ensure that there is someone available to handle day-to-day operations, tenant relations, and emergencies. A resident manager generally oversees maintaining the property and grounds, as well as collecting rent and handling communication with the tenants. Question 17. At what point in the contractual process does an option likely become enforceable? A. The offer of an option has been communicated from the optionee to the optioner. B. The optioner has received an offer from the optionee and decided to raise the consideration necessary for the granting of the option to $5,000. C. Having received the offer, the optionee has delivered $1 of consideration to the optioner. D. There has been a meeting of the minds. Correct answer is C. Having received the offer, the optionee has delivered $1 of consideration to the optioner. An option contract, to be enforceable, requires consideration, something of value exchanged, from the optionee, the potential buyer, to the optioner, the potential seller, for the right to purchase the property within a specified time frame. Even a small amount of consideration, like the $1, makes the option binding on the optioner. They cannot sell the property to someone else during the option period. The optioner cannot unilaterally change the required consideration after the offer has been made. The terms of the option, including the consideration, are set when the option is offered. If the optionee accepts the original terms, including the original consideration amount, the option is binding. While a meeting of the minds is essential for a regular contract, an option contract specifically requires consideration to be binding. A mere agreement or understanding without consideration does not create an enforceable option. Question 18. The Sherman Act prohibits different businesses to working together to exclude a competitor from the real estate market, a practice known as A. A group boycott, B. Price fixing, C. Market allocate, and D. Unfair advantage salesmanship. Correct answer is A. A group boycott. Price fixing is an agreement between competitors to set prices at an artificial level, eliminating price competition. While also illegal under the Sherman Act, it's a separate offense. Market allocation is when competitors agree to divide a market among themselves, each taking a specific geographic area or customer segment. This is also illegal under the Sherman Act. Unfair advantage salesmanship is a vague term and not a recognized legal term related to antitrust violations. While unethical sales tactics might exist, they don't necessarily constitute a Sherman Act violation unless they involve collusion or other anti-competitive practices. A group boycott is when two or more businesses conspire to refuse to deal with a third party, effectively excluding them from the market. This is a violation of the Sherman Antitrust Act because it restrains trade and competition. Question 19. A lawsuit based on a written instrument such as a real estate contract must be brought within of the making of that instrument. A. 1 year, B. 5 years, C. 8 years, D. There is no time limit. Correct answer is B. 5 years. A lawsuit to recover title to real property must be brought within 5 years. Question 20. Good neighborhood schools, a nearby park, walking trails abutting the property. These features are termed A. Perks, B. Home boosters, C. Amenities, D. Enhancements. Correct answer is C. Amenities. Amenities are features of a property or neighborhood that add to its desirability and enjoyment. Amenities can be tangible, such as a pool or gym, or intangible, such as proximity to a supermarket, good schools, parks, and walking trails. Question 21. After a buyer and seller have signed the deposit receipt, the terms of the agreement can only be changed by another written document signed by all parties. This modification of terms is called an amendment, B. Modification clause, C. Rider, D. Both A and C. Correct answer is D. Both A and C. Both amendment and rider are used to modify a contract after it has been signed. While there can be subtle differences in usage, they both essentially serve the same purpose in this context. Amendment. This is a formal change to the original contract. It's often used for more significant changes to the terms. Rider. A rider, sometimes called an addendum, is a separate document that is attached to the original contract and modifies its terms. It's often used for less complex changes or additions. Both amendments and riders must be signed by all parties to the original contract to be effective. A modification clause is a section within a contract that allows for future changes, but it's the amendment or rider itself that actually implements those changes. Question 22. A completion bond is designed to safeguard the A contractor, B borrower, C lender, D tax assessor. Correct answer is C lender. A completion bond is a type of surety bond that guarantees the completion of a construction project, even if the contractor defaults or is unable to finish the work. It protects the lender by ensuring that the project, which serves as collateral for the loan, will be completed. This reduces the lender's risk of financial loss if the contractor fails. Question 23. If a minor or incompetent person signs a contract to buy food or medicine, such a contract cannot be A enforced, B voided, C enforced, unless the minor was represented by an attorney, D none of the above. Correct answer is B voided. Contracts with minors, except in very specific circumstances, such as for necessaries like food, clothing, and lodging, are generally voidable at the option of the minor. This means the minor can choose to disaffirm or cancel the contract. While contracts for necessaries like food and medicine are an exception to this rule, they are still voidable. The exception is that the minor would still be liable for the reasonable value of the necessaries received. Question 24. The amount of consideration offered as part of a real property transaction should be enough, as compared to the property's value, to support a legal action for A tender offer, B estoppel, C specific performance, D eviction. Correct answer is C, specific performance. Specific performance is a legal remedy where a court orders a party to fulfill their obligations under a contract, rather than awarding monetary damages. It's often used in real estate transactions because each piece of property is considered unique. However, courts are reluctant to grant specific performance if the consideration offered is grossly inadequate compared to the property's value. This is because equity, fairness, is a guiding principle in deciding whether to grant specific performance. A huge disparity in value suggests unfairness or potentially unconscionable dealing, making the court less likely to intervene. Question 25. A lesser valued property is worth more due to a higher valued property being nearby. This concept is termed the principle of A similarity, B progression, C favorable association, D duplication. Correct answer is B progression. The principle of progression states that the value of a lesser valued property can be positively influenced by the presence of more valuable properties in the same area. It's the opposite of regression, where higher valued properties can be negatively impacted by surrounding lower valued properties.